All right, we're live. Welcome to the Awesome Dynamic Show. This is Paul DeWarian with Awesome Dynamic, and I'll let each of the other folks that are with me introduce ourselves. Start with Robin. Robin, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Robin. I do the SEO.
Blake,
Hey, this is Blake. I'm Robin and Paul's assistant for SEO as well. I do some Amazon work for them
and you're our show notes guy.
and a show notes guy.
All right. And Blake, do you want to introduce Terry with your soundbite?
Terry.
All right. It's a hard act to follow. Terry Levin, I do our sales and
That's
marketing.
right. That's right. That's right. Cool. So last week we had the opportunity to answer some of Terry's questions about just online marketing, websites, stuff like that. And you had a lot of great questions that a lot of people ask us all the time. And if you had some more questions, I'd love to get into some of those. We also have a recent article about some of the changes to the Google My Business dashboard. That's what helps you manage your presence online. And we have a whole bunch of other topics that we can get into as well. And of course, anybody watching this webinar is welcome to ask questions at any point in time. There's a little Q&A button on the left side of your browser. You're able to click on that, and then in the lower right, there's a green button that says Ask a Question, and we're able to answer any questions that you have about your particular online presence. Why am I not at the top of Google? How come my competitors are in front of me? What can I do to get in front of them? Et cetera, et cetera. So we can answer those questions and give you some tips and advice to help you out. Anyway, let's see, Terry. This week, any new questions from last week to this week that we can help you out with?
Yeah, I think we may have talked about this very briefly, but I'm running into some businesses that are either home office type businesses or non brick and mortar businesses.
Okay.
And so a lot of them aren't having any Google Maps things or not, any of that kind of thing. And I think reluctant sometimes to have their home address as part of the process. What are we recommending for people like that as the best way to accomplish what they need to do in that kind of a situation?
Sure. Well, we actually have a blog article on Awesome Dynamic. I'm gonna search for that really quick here. I mean, you know which one I'm going for, right? There we go. Um, to the short answer to your question is, sure, you can hide your address. I think Rob is actually pulling it up here. And yeah, so I'm going to share your screen, Robin, since you're farther along on this than I am. So what's more important to you, sharing your hiding your address or getting new clients? And that's essentially what it comes down to with folks that don't have a brick and mortar business. I'm one of them. So I have a virtual business. Employees are working out of all of their homes. I work out of my home. We're looking at getting a storefront presence, but when it comes to really be able to do something about your online presence locally, not having a public address can really make it difficult to get ahead of your competitors. So if you don't have any competitors that have storefronts, then you're on kind of like an even playing field. But when all your competitors have a storefront and you don't, then that becomes difficult. And there are some strategies to kind of get around that. I actually list my home address associated with my business. Never had someone show up at my house and ask for a website or SEO. But I do know there's some folks that are just like, I'm a single woman living at home. I don't want people knowing what my address is. So I get that. But when it comes to matching the name, address, and phone number in as many different places as possible, and how that can really help your business show up online, it makes a huge difference to be able to utilize that and leverage that to your advantage. So, Robin, you brought up a few different blog articles here. Do you wanna go through some of the ones that you've pulled up, or are you still
Um,
looking for that one
I'm
particularly?
looking for the one.
I think there's. Do you really want to hide your address? I think that was one of them.
This is from a year ago. No.
Right. I think we have the which is more important to you. Let me see if that pulls it up. Yeah, I think it's that one.
Let's see.
And essentially, it just kind of goes into all the different details about
Yeah, these are
why.
the reasons why you want to hide. But basically, you can't rank on Google without an address. So I would definitely recommend getting an address, even if it's not your address.
Right. So, Robin put it very, very eloquently. You basically can't do it. I mean,
On local results.
yeah,
With
on
brand
local
pages,
results.
it's different, but
Right. So I'm gonna switch the screen to me for a minute. I'm gonna share my screen and show you an example. So when we say you can't rank locally, by the way, the viewership changed. So welcome to our webinar here. If you have any specific questions, please, click in the lower right-hand corner, ask a question button, and we'll be able to answer any of your specific questions about your online presence or why you're ranking or not, or why you're not getting leads to your website. But taking a look here, what was the company type, Terry, the person that you had run into? Do you recall?
Well, let me take a quick look. There's been several. I mean, a lot of the local people that we have talked to are that way. Let me see if I can think of one off the top of my head here.
I think I know there's a couple business coaches, right?
Yeah. Well, that's not a good one. Let's see here.
That's all right. While you're looking, I'm gonna take a look at this on my screen here.
Okay.
I just typed in business coach into Google, and see how it generates this map that's here. We have this map that shows up. This is the local, what we call a local pack, and lately I've been seeing people writing about, they call it the snack pack. It used to be a 7-pack. That was the terminology that was used, but now they have this 3-pack of local results based on my search term. So this is the local results that are being produced based on my search words up here, my search keywords of business coach. So depending on what you type into Google, you'll see that sometimes this is produced, and you'll see other times it isn't produced. And that's strictly based on what Google thinks you're looking for. Are you looking for something local? Are you looking for just normal search results? So in this case, it's producing these local results, and these are the 3 that come up. And you'll notice the 3 that are coming up all have physical addresses. Now this growth coach, it even has the 516 Poplar Court. So I do know a few coaches that are in some of the networking groups that we're in that don't list their address, and if they're looking to compete with these folks and come up for business coach when someone's searching for it in this local area, it's going to be extremely difficult to do that without having a physical address.
So that's not a PO box though, is that?
Right. So that used to be something people did all the time, was they'd go to like a UPS store and get what they call I think they call them like a PX box or something, whatever they call it there. I've seen those commercials on TV recently, like, I run my small business out of the UPS store, and they're all looking through the little PO boxes in there, or a PO box at the post office, or things like that.
or
Those,
centralized
those
location.
those are essentially not allowed. So because when you walk in there and you're like, hey, I'm looking for Awesome Dynamic, and they're like, what are you talking about? So if they find out that you're faking an address with that, they can actually pull your listing down. Now, you also have the kind of virtual office spaces like Regus. That technically, I believe, is allowed. So because when you walk in there and you're asking for the business, the receptionist at the desk is like, of course, you're in the right place. Let me take a message. The owner is not in right now. So it's the perception when they walk in the door. I do know some businesses would have actually partnered with other businesses and create a suite number at that business. So if we look at this result that's here, the 1200 William Street ST William Drive. That's weird. They could create a suite 100, 200, 300, just fake suite numbers.
I think it's St. William.
St. William. Wow, I can't believe I didn't get that. But Peak Performance Action Coach down here in US 45. Oh, that's Bonnie Rickman actually. So that's if there was another business there, let's say she had another person that wanted to share that address with her, they could have 216 A and B, and then all of a sudden But then you'd have to talk with that business, the people who are actually in that office, and say, if someone's looking for my business, please say that that I'm actually here. So I'm going to quit talking here. Robin, do you have any comments on that?
I just sent over the guidelines from Google on what your address should be. But basically, if you want to rank in these local results, the only way you can get listed is having a physical address. There's also some controversy in the SEO community about how close you are to the center, the exact center of the town. Because if everything's on a level playing field, then the ones that are closer to the center of the town actually can rank better.
Right.
So yeah. So if you had a choice, if you don't have of having a physical office, this it's called like the centroid. Those are better locations. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, the terminology is centroid. So I'm just going to pull up Libertyville, Illinois, and you can see that. If we see all of the town of Libertyville here, and it kind of shows me the
lake is the middle.
Yes. So the closer you are to the center, here's Picnic Basket. We're doing a website for them this upcoming week. But this is the center of the town. So like Robin said, if all things are equal, so they all have virtual tours, they all have the same number of citations, they all have responsive websites, they all have their data optimized. So if everything is equal, theoretically, the ones that are in the center of town will rank better than the ones that are on the outskirts of the town.
And it also depends. If you're on a mobile device and you're on the edge of town, then you're going to get those results first.
Right.
But if you're on a desktop, the center ones tend to be first. Which doesn't mean you have to move your entire business, but if you have a choice where to put your semi-virtual office, center of the town is better.
That's right, right. So all things being equal.
And also make sure it's long term. Like it's not something that someone rented for a year and then maybe you change your address in a year, because it will depend on doing your citations, which is a huge part of SEO. So citation is just anywhere your name, address, and phone number is listed online. So if you constantly are changing your address, you're going to have to go back. Let's say you change every year your address. You're going to have to go back every year and change hundreds of citations, even thousands of citations, which takes, at least 20 minutes per citation. So you're talking about, possibly months and maybe even, up to 6 months to change your citations if you're constantly moving. So once you pick the address, make sure that it's a permanent address, or you will have to go back and do all of this work.
Right.
That side too. You do not have to have an address. You just won't rank in the local results, but you still can rank in the regular organic results. It's just a little bit more difficult. And there also are citations where you can hide your address. So if it's absolutely not an option for you and you can't rent a space or get some space anywhere, you can do the no address route with a limited amount of citations.
Just to kind of give you an idea of, so what is organic, what is the local, what are the ads here? If we take a look, I'm going to draw on the screen a little bit here with my drawing program. Let's see, screen snap. I'm going to take this here. So we take a look at this chunk of results. I typed in business coach. We can see here, I'm going to draw in pink. These are your advertisements that people are paying for. Okay. Then we have one organic result that happens to be showing up above here. So that I'm going to highlight. Whoops. Select blue. So that's a organic result. So this theoretically has nothing to do with the name, address, and phone number of what's happening here. And then we have, I'll do green, here's the local results. And then after those, if I take a look at this page here, after those, I have a whole bunch more organic results that are showing up underneath here. So, which would also be in that blue color. You saw that one snuck up on top here. As well, but those theoretically don't have anything to do with the address as much as this. But when Google is producing this snap pack or this local results, a lot of people's eyes snap right to this area, because they are looking for something local. They know, or they've been trained, okay, well, I see this map, here's the local results, I'm going to pick one of these. So that's the upward battle they're going to be fighting. But if you have a national target audience, it doesn't matter, because usually you're not going to be looking for a local company if you're looking for, let's say, coach purses. It is showing me places I could go buy them. Okay, let's find. Give me a better term here. What's not going to show
like
me?
Like a band name.
Yeah. Rage against Gene. Okay. So now it's not giving me a local result for that. Something I'm going to buy. Let's see, what would I buy?
Or a service area business.
Yeah. Cosmetic organizer. So it could show me some stores locally, but now it's showing Amazon's coming up, Container Store, Amazon. Service area businesses, plumber. I think that's going to pull a... I spelled it right. It pulls this. So you can see that the way Google displays those different results is different depending on the type of business it is.
Yeah, and I want to go on the opposite side too. If you, let's say you work from home, you accept clients at your house, but it is your home, and the client's totally fine with putting their address on their website, all over Google, all over the citations. There still is a downside that if someone, every once in a while Google checks online through Google Maps, and if it looks like it's in a residential area, they can either call you and check out the business, or they sometimes will just take your listing down. Now, in terms of reinforcing that, it's very rare that they reinforce that, so you should be good and able to go with having your address as of right now from your home.
Right.
But technically, it's against their guidelines. So.
Right. If you look at this, Terry, this is this graph is great. We always reference it. It's a pie chart of the things that help you show up in search results. Whenever you see NAP, that stands for name, address, and phone number, it has something to do with where you're located. So you can see that 13.6 plus 20.3 of all the things that affect your ranking online. So that's over 33% or a third of why you rank online has to do with your address. So, I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, you're basically cutting on a third of your ability to rank online just by not having an address.
Right.
Does
Okay.
that give you enough detail?
And that's not from Google or search engine. That's from actual SEOs.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's not Google saying that. That's from people actually studying this at length. What else do you got, Terry?
That might be it for now. I want to reserve the right to jump back in, but one hand off the top of my head.
Okay. Wanted to jump over to this article because I thought it was really cool that Robin brought this up. Not only this blogger, this Imprezio Marketing, probably is a competitor of ours, but she does a really good job detailing out any minute change in how Google's doing anything. And I noticed what she wrote about here last week when I was helping one of our clients, that they've changed the interface for managing your local listings here. So, Robin, would you speak to some of the other stuff that you've noticed that she's publishing on?
Sure. All right.
Share to your screen here, or you might just leave it on mine.
Oh, we can do either.
Okay.
So, yeah, the first thing is these breadcrumbs. It used to be really hard to navigate around Google My Business, and you had to keep clicking on the menu or clicking the back button and possibly getting locked out of your account. So it tells you exactly where you are when you're editing your page. And, for example, getting to the manager section is a lot easier. It's a lot less clicks. And it says right here, you can now see the Google Plus brand pages that are not connected to Maps easily right in the main dashboard. So again, another easy navigation. And you you can actually access all your pictures too from one page. Before you had to like do the logo here and do the background picture on another page, but now all the pictures can be managed in one spot. And yeah, this card view is really great too, because when you click on that, you can see all of your different pages and locations, and it tells you if there's duplicates, and there's no more like guessing. You can also go to GYBO.com, which is Get Your Business Online. That's created by Google to organize, make it a little bit easier to find information on your own business in your Google My Business page. Okay, so here's all the locations for your business. And then inside of here is what I think is the most interesting part is it has a to-do list of everything that you need to finish on your Google My Business page. It says which pages need to be verified and which ones have overlapping data. For example, your name, address, and phone number. Every single Google My Business listing has to have a different name, address, and phone number. Otherwise, it's going to be considered a duplicate. So that's a good example would be like a law firm, and everyone has their own page, their own Google My Business page, but they all have the same phone number. So that would be all duplicates of each other, and it will make it very confusing online to Google results. So the way to fix that is just get a phone number and reroute all of the numbers to, even though they're going to the same number, the actual physical phone number will be different, and then they can reroute to all the same number. All right. And same with address. If you have all the same address, what you want to do is put a suite number at the end. Even if it's not a physical suite, like you don't have an actual room, you can still have your desk be suite A and then the desk next to you is suite B. All right, so those are some of the major changes that were recently made for Google My Business.
And I asked Blake to include this section of this webinar on the Google My Business lesson on the Awesome Dynamic Academy. So this way, that's an additional resource people could have. Speaking of the Awesome Dynamic Academy, we'll plug that really quick. Robin, you want to pull that up on the screen? You're going to be making a video for this soon. Did you get a chance to play around with that software yet?
No.
I know it was just yesterday, but AwesomeDynamicAcademy.com. We've solidified our pricing, so it's basically do-it-yourself SEO. The pricing is going to be $49 a month. There's a 7-day free trial, and once you sign up, you get a long list of different things you can do to improve your presence online. And you can see that list if you click on the Lessons button on the main navigation there, Robin. Here's the list of all the different lessons that we have. There's an example unit on the right there. It shows you, it's pretty comprehensive. There's videos that we cut out of some of these webinars and a lot of other information, and it basically walks you through all the different things you need to do. There's over 100 different lessons that explain what you should be doing.
Yeah, the number one question we get at webinars or at networking events is, how do I rank number one on Google?
Right.
Well, this is the short answer right here.
That's a good way to put it. I get like same thing. I had someone email me a couple days ago. So someone was telling me that I could improve my presence online. I thought you did that for me. I said, well, we built you a website, but there's literally hundreds of things to do, and getting a site.
Yeah, you're not done once you make your website.
Right.
That's just the beginning.
Yeah. It's like building your restaurant. Build it, staff it, and then just wait for people to show up. You got to advertise, let them know you're in town.
Make the food.
Yeah, make food. Good point, Robin. Make sure
as if you bought a restaurant and then didn't do anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Just purchase the restaurant, write the check. Okay, let's get it going. So yeah, good. I like furthering the analogy like that, Robin. These webinars are actually located on this website. The recordings are. So there is a webinars button at the top. So Robin, if you wouldn't mind clicking that, that shows you all the different webinars and the show notes that Blake takes, along with the resources that we talk about are all in here, and you can watch those past webinars. And then there's also a forum, and the forum you can ask us questions. We're able to help you, but only members are allowed to ask questions. But you can see what other people have talked about in the forum. So if you go to the forum, you can read through our forum. But in order to participate, there is a you have to join our Awesome Dynamic Academy. So we're excited to get we're getting close. We're doing all the testing now to get this functional, and this is coming up next on the docket. So Terry, I think there's a lot of folks that would really get a lot out of this.
And if you want to sign up, we're doing trials right now.
Yeah, free trial. So we should probably put that free trial thing on the. I actually got a free trial sign up from Mark with Bigger Ponds Coaching. He signed up for to be notified when the academy is available. He did that yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, currently the link is under awesomedynamic.com in search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's loading right now.
Spinning? Yeah, it's spinning. So, yeah, so on the SEO page on our awesomedynamic.com, that's where you can sign up for the pilot trial. So, Terry, just so you know, we're going to give away a few memberships to this for a certain period of time to pilot the program to work out the bugs. Right now we're working out all the bugs we know about, but there's going to be ones that we don't know about.
Right.
So you go to the awesomedynamic.com/search engine optimization. You just click on the SEO page on our site. Then you see this giant time to change thing, and you just put in your name, email. We only have one plan now, and it's $50 a month, $49 a month, and everything's included in that plan.
All right.
Simple pricing.
Looking forward to getting started on that.
Yeah. Cool. There's another thing that I wanted to cover for Terry's benefit, and I think we can also use this recording for the Awesome Dynamic Academy, which is, why is my website not getting leads?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at let's go to the Trinell Financial Group. And I'm working with them. We're going to be making some improvements. And go ahead and click through their website. So just looking at the website, so there's always a human side and a technical side to SEO. We're always talking about that. But when we arrive at a website, it's important to get a feeling for what they do right away. So when I arrive at the Trinell Financial Group, I might already know what kind of business they are. But if I don't, and I arrive at this site, I better know what they do within the first 3 to 5 seconds. So when I arrive at this website, the first thing that draws my eye is this egg, and I know they're trying to promote their Sunny Side Up book, but that's the first thing I get. I kind of see the slideshow flashing from one thing to the next, and in there I see life insurance, I see insurance quotes, I see this graph with a guy in a suit, and some people in suits shaking hands. So that kind of gives me an idea that there's something to do with business. And I know exactly what this company does, but I'm just kind of giving you the impressions that someone might have in that first 3 to 5 seconds. And I see the financial services. I recommend having the financial services at the top because that tells me, okay, well, they do something with financial services. And 2, what are they? And I see them right away, right on the page. So having them listed on the website can really go a long way to really telling people what you do. If it's all buried in a paragraph, that's what Robin's kind of highlighting the paragraph. If your description of what your business does is all buried in a paragraph, people don't want to read that. They want to, if you bullet point out what you do right away, so in 3 to 5 seconds, just skimming through the page, do I know what your business is about? So a lot of folks, one of my favorite websites that does this really well with the slideshow, Robin, if you pull up greenleafcenter.com.
Sure. And then one other thing I want to point out is the fold right here.
Yes, the fold. Yes, we'll definitely get back to that in a sec.
Center?
Yeah, center.com. So they have a great slideshow that tells the story, and I'll just let you watch it for a second. So it loads up here. strategically positioned near major hospitals, minutes away from the highway, on-site management and maintenance, turnkey build-out service plans for making customizing the space easy.
Yeah, but really where I get it most from is right here, prime professional office space.
So you're getting those indicators of what this is about very briefly. Yeah, you had the slideshow. Robin saw the tagline up there that kind of told what the story is about. So very quickly, I know what this is about right away. You know, what does this company do? Why should I do business with them? I don't have to read that paragraph at the bottom to know anything about them.
And even their name, Greenleaf Center, it almost looks like maybe it's something like an environmentally friendly office building.
Right, which may or may not be the case.
Yeah.
But you know, those different visual cues and some brief snippets of words along with photography. They always say a picture tells, you know, a picture can tell a story of 1,000 words. I'm saying that wrong. I know I am. But the idea that you can really communicate a lot very quickly in 3 to 5 seconds by putting a story together that tells what your business is about, and also make them feel what they need to feel. So how many times have you gone to a website that just varied it? You know, you want to make sure you're creating the feeling. If you have an office environment that you really are, you know, you have friendly people, put friendly smiling people in your slideshow so they know, oh, when I go here I'm gonna have friendly people greeting me. So when I go to the Trinell thing, you know, I expect professionalism because this site feels professional. So there's those types of things that trigger human emotion when you're looking at a website. And a lot of people don't consider those things. Robin mentioned. Go ahead, Robin. I'm sorry.
I'd just do like a third example of like a really funky kind of fun one.
Sure. Here, I got one that's under development. It's not done yet, but go to awesomedynamic.info. And it's for planification. This is Kim Kremel's new website that we're working on. And Phil Gator with Brandstorm, he's the one who put the concept together. It's called Planification.
Okay.
There it is. So take a look at these colors when they come up. There we go.
Yeah, so you can tell the contrast between like Trinell Financial and Planification.
Right.
More about like party, fun, like
people having, I mean, it looks like everyone's having fun. The word start the parties in the middle. The above the fold, Robin, you want to explain the importance of that?
Sure. So above the fold, I think that's a good example on this one and also on Trinell. So the fold is basically wherever the website stops before you scroll down. So this one I can see the entire website. And this one I can see that it cuts off right here. So really the only thing that counts is what is above this line right here, this invisible line before you scroll down, because it is that, you know, a few seconds. I think the average bounce rate, so say you got to this website through a search engine. The average person is going to look at it for, I think it's just, I mean, it's like under 2 seconds or something. And a bounce is when they only visit one page and they don't visit anywhere else on your site before leaving. So that can add to your bounce rate if they can't tell what the site is about just above this fold right here. So you can scroll down and get more information, but make sure that you don't have say a picture that's too big here that doesn't give you any more information on the text, or maybe your services are pushed down too far. Maybe their services could be a little higher. This image could be a little smaller, so a few more services can get above the fold here. But I mean, in general, I can tell what this website is about before I start scrolling down. And also keep in mind that on a mobile site, your fold's going to be even smaller. And my screen's pretty large right here, but if I had a notebook computer, maybe this is all you see.
Right.
So your fold is going to be even smaller here.
So those are different things to consider. I know Terry's working off a laptop, and laptop screen, you know, Robin, I know your screens are 20 inches, mine's are 24s. Terry's is probably a 15 or a 13-inch screen. So the smaller the screen, the less it's going to show above the fold. So another
Yeah,
another
you're zoomed in or out as well.
right, right. Yeah, some people zoom in because they have a hard time reading the text at the size that it comes at normally, which will decrease how much is above the fold. So that's important. Another thing that has to be above the fold, people say to me all the time, well, my website's just there. I don't really get any leads from it. If you notice the 3 examples that we showed you, every single one of them had the phone number at the top, right? That's amazing to me how many times I go to websites and the phone number just isn't at the top. One example that I saw recently is the Deer Path Inn in Lake Forest. Let's see if I can find that URL for you, Robin. It's on the home page, but here it is. I'm gonna message this to you, Robin, so you can pull that up.
Okay.
You probably already got to it. All right. So on this page, the phone number does exist. How long does it take you to find it, Robin? Let's see.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
looking for it by the address.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that it's down here. I mean, the website has like a nice clean look, but if you can't contact them easily, and you know what, it should also be clickable. So if you're on a mobile device, or if you have calling through your computer, you can. There's been so many on my mobile device. I'm trying to call the company, and I have to like copy it and then remember it, then go back to my phone app, then put in a couple of numbers, and then go back, put in a couple more numbers, and then press send, when they could easily just make it click here and you're already on the line with them.
Right. And ain't nobody got time for that, right? So yeah, I mean, I'll do that. I'll get frustrated with that all the time. I'm looking for a business. I was just looking for a hotel to stay in Rochester, Minnesota, and I went to one website. I didn't want to copy and paste the phone number. I couldn't copy and paste the phone number. I couldn't click on it. I didn't want to remember it to type it in, so I just went to another website. So they just lost my business that quickly. So that kind of stuff happens all the time. People don't think about how many times that could happen. So make it easy. Make it so easy for people to do the simple things like call you, right? So, Robin, if you go back to the Greenleaf one, Greenleaf and the Trinell site that we had up a moment ago, they also have the address, and you can see their Deer Path one Inn has it too. But that gives you a feeling if it's local. So if a big part of your business is you connect with the community, you have a strong local presence, people know that you're around, and you want new customers to know that, having something that says where exactly you're located or which areas you serve is kind of important to have up in the top of the website too. So serving Lake McHenry and Cook counties, or located in Libertyville, or actually just having your address up there makes a big difference. People know that you're local. How many times you go to a website and you're like, is this a local company or isn't it? Am I looking at a business in California or is it here in Illinois? So that that people are sensitive to that kind of stuff. And by seeing immediately Libertyville, Illinois up there, I know that it's local to my area. But if you don't have it up there, I'm left here wondering. Call to action. That's another thing. So yeah, we have the phone number, but what do we want somebody to do? And that's really done well in this one. We have the schedule appointment up there. If you scroll down a little bit, Robin, underneath the financial services, we have a form. I think it's down there. So take the next step. Taking the next step matters. So we have a place where we can fill out the form. So that's a call to action. If you go to any of the other financial services, Robin, so for example, click on college planning. If I go to the college planning page, we have the schedule an appointment button there. So okay, after they decide that they want to do something with you, maybe they don't want to make that phone call. So we just harped on getting the phone number up there. Well, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm surfing your website, because remember, your website's up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know if I call them right now, I'm going to get voicemail, but I don't want to leave a voicemail. Let's say I just want to write a message. So if I fill out this form, I know someone's going to get it and they're going to contact me back. Or it's just the forms are so important. And then talking about the forms in more detail, the length of the form matters. So the more fields you have, the less likely it is it's going to be filled out, regardless of whether or not it's required. I remember helping out a disability insurance company. We can bring his website up too. Why not? Go to disabilityinsuranceadvisor.com. His form was a mile long, asked every single question he needed to ask to get a quote. And it literally had maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 fields. But look at this on the right, contact us today. We fill in the name, the phone number, the state, zip, and email. We could rename this next page button to just say submit, but what happens is as you fill this out, it will still ask the 30 questions that he has, but what he's capturing right away is the lead information. He's capturing their name, their phone. He wanted to know a little bit of information about where they're located, and then the email address. So this way, if they abandon the form, so let's say someone's sitting down here, and all of a sudden their kid comes up to them and says, mommy, daddy, can you do this? And then they walk away from the computer, and they don't have time to do this, or they see all the fields and like, I don't have time for this. You're losing the leads by having too many things to fill out. So this particular form that's here captures the data at every single step. So if I get to this step and I'm like, oh my God, I don't have time for this, or I have an interruption, or I get a phone call or something like that, this has already captured the prior steps worth of information, and then you can follow up on that lead. So you can pick up the phone right away and say, hey, I saw you were on my website, or maybe the next morning, hey, I saw you on my website. You expressed interest in getting disability insurance. Let me tell you about our different options. I'll take all your information over the phone. Make it easy. There was another situation with a form with Main Street Libertyville. It's a volunteer organization in downtown Libertyville, northern suburb of Chicago, and they proposed putting a form on their website. See the volunteer tab there, Robin? They proposed putting a very, very long form here instead of what's there now. So they wanted to ask, what are the hours you're available? How many days a week? Have you volunteered before? What types of volunteer activities do you like doing? And I asked, is this form going to is the idea to get more volunteers? Or are you trying to keep volunteers from signing up? They said, well, no, we want more volunteers. And they said, well, you put a form that's a mile long on there, no one's going to want to fill that thing out. So, keep it short, and then get them to come in, have them fill the application out in person if you want to use that to qualify them as a good volunteer or not. I get that idea, but if you're looking to get more leads, make the form easy and short. So another humanistic piece of SEO. But statistically speaking, the more fields you have, the less likely it's going to get filled out.
So we've kind of gone into the contact form. Are these two different videos, or?
These videos. Oh, well, to get into the contact form, I guess this is just a general overview of some of the human sides evaluating your website. So the what other general things? I find navigation in general. How many times have you gone to a website where you click on the?
I'm saying for Blake.
Right, I understand, but let's continue pressing forward with just some general things here. So the navigation, you've gone to a website and it has the here it's calendar, business directory, anniversary, celebration, visitor info. So that's the navigation going across the top. And I've gone to websites where you click on something and all of a sudden the navigation disappears or goes somewhere else on the page, or you go to another page in the site that looks completely different. It's very jarring to the visitor. So they don't know, okay, am I on a different site? How come I can't get back to the home page, or I can't get to the other page in the site, etc. All right. Any other things you'd like to add in general, Robin, about basic? We talked about above the fold. We talked about having the contact information, local information, making them feel the right way. Anything else you can think of?
I would just say making your contact page available and easy to find. So this one I can't, maybe under visitor info.
Right.
But if you have an easy to use contact page, like this one doesn't have one either. contact us. So this one's an easy one.
Right.
It has an interactive map that I can see here. So if I need directions, and it's just what they're missing on here is maybe like their address and phone number somewhere on the page. Let's see, this one's an easy one, contact us, and I get a lot of the basic information I would need there. Something else I would add on here is probably hours.
Exactly.
And this is a good point too. You might have two contact us pages, one if you're taking resumes, and one for general contact.
Right. You had another good example, Robin. You want to pull up the Sinorama site? So a lot of people just use a general contact us form. The perception is, okay, that's the place I'm going to go to find the numbers, find the address, find the phone number, which is what you see right here. But some people kind of avoid filling out the general contact us form because they think it's just going to go to a secretary or a receptionist. It's not going to be it's not going to go to somebody who's going to follow up with them right away. So on this site, if you scroll back up, Robin, there's the free quote button. And that has a different form, same kind of information. Again, name, email, message, and phone number, but it's
more personal.
Yeah, it's directed at getting a free quote. So on this site, since we do search engine optimization for them, this gets filled out way more than the regular contact page because people are looking to get a price. So they want to fill this out to get the price. So we find that more directed contact forms rather than just a general contact us can be much more effective in generating leads. Another one's at Libertyville Massage. They get the book of service, and they've got the contact us. You want to pull that one up really quick?
For what? For?
The Libertyville Massage website. And I remember when we were talking about doing the book of service, her objection to having that on there. So click on the book of service. She's like, well, I don't have a software that does this right away. Well, we put a disclaimer in there, I think it's underlined. Submitting this form does not guarantee a time slot, but we will do our best to find a time that will work with your schedule. So we didn't get into doing a fancy, booking software that works with the form, which is possible. But, again, just filling out the basic information. She wanted to know what service and also some information about, what sort of medical issues she's trying to solve with it. So this way, when she calls the customer, she can say, oh, I saw you were... you filled out the form, you're having problems with your back. Definitely have a couple of therapists that can, they're not available on the day that you want, but I have a couple of therapists that specialize in back massage that would be able to help you here. So she also has the intake form. How many times you go to a doctor's office and they ask you to fill out that form and you're sitting there for a half an hour filling it out before you get to your appointment? Well, put it on your website so they could download it and bring it with them filled out. People would love to do that. Unless you're using it as a technique to stall. All right, so I think that's a good wrap up of different ways to evaluate, how people perceive websites in different ways. So Terry, do you have any questions on that stuff? Did you find that valuable?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It gives me a lot of things to to look at when I'm talking to the people that are interested with us and just get an idea right away on where they stand.
Right. So and then when we do these mini audits, essentially those are the types of things we're thinking about and doing as we go through here.
Right.
Okay. We've got how much time? We only have 10 minutes left. Blake, first off, Terry, do you want to continue to reserve your right to ask a question?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking for people that are looking at this, if we could give them just a brief summary of some of their options that we have available to help them get started. Overall, I know we talked briefly about the academy, but what are some of the other options that they can look at with us?
Right. So we have the academy. We also do the full service SEO, and Robin can pull up that page on our website on awesomedynamic.com. The full service SEO is essentially will take over your entire website and manage all the different things that were in that academy and do them for you. So that's if we scroll down a little bit more, here it is. So here are some of the different full service options that we have. And we also we've been doing a lot of this consulting SEO as well, where if you want to get in and learn how to do a lot of the stuff that can help you online, but you don't want to do it in a do-it-yourself basis. You basically want one-on-one training, and then we collaborate on, okay, well, Awesome Dynamic is going to do these things, and then the client's going to do these other things that we teach you how to do. That's a great model that we've been doing with several clients where they're getting a lot of value out of that. So, and when we do that type of coaching, essentially, we actually record our video conference call. So we'll collaborate on JoinMe, and we'll share a screen, and Robin and I will be coaching you through each step of the different things you could specifically do, whether it's on the front end or the back end of your website. We'll talk about any specific questions that you have, and we'll at the end of our call, we'll schedule our next meeting, determine what our next actions are for us and the client to complete, and between those meetings, we'll get our stuff done, and the client will get their stuff done, and then we'll provide the video from our training session so they can rewatch that. So if we got into anything technical, they'll be able to go back and watch that. So that's been working quite well. Our full service SEO, if you just want to, I don't have time for this. I don't have any staff that has time for this. I just want to step back and I just want to rank better, and you guys take care of it. Well, we can do that. We can leverage our whole staff to get that done for you. But I have there's a lot to do. There's hundreds of hours of stuff to be done. So and that could be from content writing to doing email newsletters, helping you with your SEO campaign. But we definitely have a list of things that will priority order what we think is most important based on what your specific goals are. So that kind of review that in a little bit more detail, Terry.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess so. It's safe to say, I guess, that it's depending on your level of involvement, budget issues. There's all different scenarios that we can work with somebody to get this done. And also important to say that this is not something you jump in and you do and then you're done with it and you've done your SEO. It's an ongoing.
Yeah, absolutely. And to speak to that point, Robin, how many times has Google changed their algorithm?
Twice.
Twice?
Every day.
Every day, yes. And I mean, just looking at that blog at the beginning of the phone call, that woman that documents every little change that's happening. So it's not only Google changing their algorithm, how things rank, but then how to do these things is always changing too. So
yeah, you're going to have major updates at least a few times a year. So if you updated your website a few months ago, it could be out of date by now. So.
Right. So one big thing last year, there was a really big divide in how to accomplish being, having a mobile site. There's the idea of having a separate mobile site and doing responsive web design where the site adapts to the screen, and it was kind of like the VHS and Betamax. So there were those two different things. Or the Blu-ray. What was the competitor to the Blu-ray? Blake, do you remember?
The Laserdisc?
No, Laserdisc was kind of its own deal. There was Blu-ray, and man, I gotta look this up now. But there was two. It was because the Sony did the Blu-ray, and then there was another company that came out with something at the same time. Yeah. So the Blu-ray HD DVD. That's what they called them. So at the time, there were the HD DVDs and Blu-rays, and maybe Blu-ray had a better name. I think that's what it was.
I didn't know the HD DVDs.
You didn't know about that?
DVD is a better name. It's more.
Yeah.
It describes it better.
Well, I wonder if I know there were, going back to records, so there was the 78s, and then there were 45s and 33s. Was that right, Terry?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I remember. Did any of those come out at the same time?
Well, they were available. They overlapped for sure. I mean, 78s came first, and then it was your 45s and your which were your singles, and your long playing LP was the 33s.
Okay, all right. But same thing. Technology is always changing, and those are just some examples of them. And they're constantly changing. Who knows? Couple years from now, we might have holographic websites. that just kind of are 3D in front of your face. I don't know what the next thing is.
Supposedly, you don't even need a computer or phone or tablet. You just project on any surface in front of you.
Right. Well, they got the keyboards that do that. It like projects a
Yeah.
keyboard on your desk, and you're able to type there, which is kind of neat. I know they're going to start. You got these Bluetooth devices that people are hanging on their ears. It's only a matter of time before they implant it into your eardrum.
Brain.
Right.
Oh.
And they got the Google glasses, where you can, what do they call it? Augmented reality, where you actually see stuff layered on top of the world. So you turn and you look at the businesses in the strip mall, and above all the businesses, it tells you, what the average price point is, what the phone number is of each, what the ratings are, right in your actual reality. Robin, you brought up a great thing last time we talked on the phone. Remember, it was a website that was telling you like what was wrong with each of the different items. You're like, man, that would be nice if we had that at the bar, and it told you which guys are. This guy's been in jail twice. read his retinas, like in what is that, Minority Report or something like that, and tell you something about them right away. But yeah, all that science fiction stuff, I think, is going to come true at some
To the
point.
future.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't today Back to the Future Day?
It was
Yeah, I saw that.
yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Okay.
And the Cubs didn't win.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew you had to bring that up.
Terry was at the game. He went
Oh, yeah.
He went the last 2 days.
Oh wow, I was
Yeah.
outside of it.
You
It was
were?
fun, but it didn't go very well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did so well coming into it, but it didn't end well.
Yep.
Yeah. There's always next year, right?
Enough of that. What else do you want to talk about?
All right.
And
Well,
here's our other services.
yeah, our other service. So we'll wrap up with the other service. We got a few minutes left here. So yes, SEO. We talked a lot about responsive web design, essentially mobile-friendly web design. Amazon seller consulting, helping you sell your products on Amazon. You get your products in front of millions of people right away without having to build a whole website first. And Google Maps Business View. Also, we got the new logo up there. See the green and yellow logo? It's now called Google Street View Trusted. And you essentially have virtual tours, the inside of your business. The only way to get one in the inside of your business is have a trusted agency or photographer like us do it for you. You can tour around the inside of the business. Really cool, and it connects right into Google Maps, and it helps you rank better too, which is great. We're just seeing the floor in that one. There we go. Zoom out. All right. We can go around the inside. All right, that wraps it up. Again, this is Paul DeWarian with Awesome Dynamic. With me, Robin Mordini, Blake Tintori, Terry Levin, and we're signing out. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Bye-bye.